Hey everybody, Kyle Sasser here, and it's everybody's favorite time of the month. That's right, real estate market statistics time. These real estate market statistics are for the Dayton Metro for August 2026. So, calling these the August 2026 numbers, but the numbers are actually from July. And the reason we do that is because a month is really the most reliable block of time that we can gain any useful information from when it comes to real estate. A day is way too short, and a week is also way too short. Too much variation week to week with holidays, weather, stuff like that. But a month is a pretty good bellwether. We also don't compare month to month, so we're not comparing July to June, and that's because the calendar year has a natural ebb and flow. Spring and summer times tends to be the most active time periods. Wintertime tends to be less activity, and so comparing month to month, you're always going to have that variation. So we are comparing July 2026 to July 2025 while keeping an eye on the rest of the year just to make sure that nothing's getting too out of whack. Now, if you remember back to your mathematics classes, you might remember median and averages. So average, everyone kind of remembers that. You take, let's say 10 houses, you add up the price that they sold for, you divide it by 10, and that gives you the average sales price. Median sales price is a little different though. So what that is let's say that you have 130 homes that have sold. The median is the price at which there is a equal number of higher and lower priced homes. So median is more of the true, quote unquote, price of the market. It doesn't get swayed as much if a significantly expensive house sells. Like average sales price would get pulled pretty significantly if like a $5 or $10 million estate sales. And same thing on the flip side, like if there is a significantly larger number of lower priced homes that sell, it can move the average sales price a significant amount, but the median sales price will not move quite as much. So let's dive into these Dayton statistics. Total number of closed sales was up 10.8% from 1,269 homes to 1,406 homes sold. Median sales price was down 0.74% from $269,000 to $267,000. Average sales price was up 2.62% from $305,330 to $308,417. Median percent of original list price was down 0.2%, which is basically holding steady. That dropped from 99 to 98.8%, and a median time to sale was down 3.57% to 27 days. One thing I do like to do with that is, so time to sale is how long until the house closes. Mentally, I usually will knock like 20 to 25 days off of that, and that will tell us what our time to contract is. I wish that we tracked time to contract, but the local MLS does not track that. So we can see that most homes are going under contract within a few days throughout the entire Dayton Metro. Total number of new listings was up 5.86% from 1,690 to 1,789. And total homes for sale was up 21.68% from 1,956 to 2,380. Foreclosures and short sales, there's a total of 8 foreclosures, which is an increase of 60% from 5, and there's a total of 2 short sales. So not too much going on in the doom and gloom section. The main reason why those median sales prices and average sales prices have held steady and climbed. Now, I do like to dive into the different price points because a $200,000 house sells at a slightly different time frame than a $1 million house. Most of that's just going to be due to the buyer pool. Just there's more people that can buy the $200,000 house. I'm also not going to read every one of these to you because that gets a little monotonous. So I'll just kind of hit the high points. So this is a closed sales by the various price points. 100 to 150,000, there was 11.32% fewer homes, total of 94. Most of that's going to be just prices that homes that were priced in that category have moved up to higher price points. 200 to 250,000 was up 56.29% to 236. 300 to 400,000 was up 18.78% to 291. 400 to 600,000 was up 18.44% to 212. And a couple noteworthy declines. 250 to 300,000 was down 7.65% to 181. Some good news for buyers though is new listings are up pretty much across the board. 200 to 250, there was pretty much 10% fewer listings at 226, but 300 to 400,000 was up 8.84%. 320 new listings, 400 to 600 was up 11.6% to 279. And total inventory was up across the board except for 200 to 250, which was down 5.51%. But for example, 150 to 200 was up 23.32%. 312. 300 to 400,000 was up 32% to 396. 400 to 600,000 was up 22.35% to 427. So those are the real estate market statistics for the Dayton Metro area. Now, what about the analysis? So it's currently August and we're looking at the July numbers. But basically the big thing is school year starting up and homes tend to take a back seat and things tend to slow down as we get into September. The conventional wisdom that the market stops, that's not actually true. It's more of just a slow decline into the wintertime. This year compared to previous years, 2025, which we can tell because the median sales price hasn't climbed and inventory is actually up compared to last year. The market is a little weaker this year compared to last, but weak does not mean declining prices and seller bloodbath and you can negotiate $80,000 off of an asking price. It's always comparisons. So the 2025 market is slightly weaker. Buyers have more to choose from when it comes to houses, and homes tend to hang around a little bit longer compared to this time last year. And I'm seeing those conditions on the ground as well helping clients. So last year things were flying off the shelf super quick, multiple offers on the first day of contract. And wasn't necessarily that you're having to go gangbusters above asking price, but just there was a lot of competition. Currently, I am still running into multiple offers here and there. It's not absolutely guaranteed. The usual suspects, the high demand areas, the 675 corridor, your Oakwood, Kettering, Centerville, Beavercreek, Bellbrook, and all the townships around that area. Those are always going to be high demand, and so competition is pretty fierce. There's a decent amount of competition there, but even there, I have not run into as many multiple offer situations as I would usually expect compared to the previous 3 or 4 or 5 years. So far as what the market's looking like, the market in the Dayton Metro is still very strong. Median sales price has not gone up statistically, but just kind of, again, the high demand areas, things have kind of shaped up like the usual suspects. Prices are higher there than they were last year. So the good news on the buying side is if you've been thinking about buying, there is a lot of homes to choose from, and sellers aren't able to dictate as much as they used to be. And on the seller side, it's still relatively easy to get a super high number on the sale of your home. As we get into fall, we'll see how things develop. The inventory coming up eventually could lead to some issues and a price retraction, but we're nowhere close to that imbalance yet. But so far as today, it's a little bit better time to buy a house than it was last year. And yeah, we'll just have to see what shapes up. So thank you so much for tuning in for these market statistics reports for the Dayton Metro area. If you would like help finding an amazing home in the Dayton Metro, I would love to help you out. You can reach me at 937-907-6777. And there's also a link in the description down below to my calendar. You can go there, you can schedule a chat for the time that works best for you. That's usually the best first step. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave those down in the comment section below as well. My name is Kyle Sasser, and I'll talk to you soon.